did yourself on this track, boy. Israel, stand up. Nazarenes, stand up. You got a job to do, so let's go. King Dawid. Open my mouth like lava oozing out volcanic eruption. I keep busting till I see Babylon's destruction. Avoid worldly corrupt, follow script. End the discussion. Contend for the faith and stay away from Satan's suction. Mind zoomed in on Zion. We born reliance. Me and the op, we won't stop. It's iron sharpening iron. Keep pressed and spread the word. By any means, hit the streets, the radio and different internet streams. I'm ready, fully loaded, like a magazine. On point, laser beam. My team, Nazarenes on post. Words spoke to provoke and break yokes of bondage off my people. Each time I pen strokes, the pages got the lost out of their mazes. Ain't no stopping these lions once we get loose from my cages. We riders with Messiah, slow down but four. Finish line in our sight, so we like the earth's core. We on fire.
Definition of true flame spitters ain't going nowhere. We hard to get rid of. Bringing you the truth, so please consider. It's time to change your heart, man. It's time to surrender. How long you gon' let the devil hinder? You leave a foothold and he sure gon' enter. Crush that joker head like a kung fu ninja and show him that the set apart spirit lives in ya. How long you gonna suffer? Cause you won't let this fire here touch ya. So, let this fire engulf ya. This ain't religion, man, it's culture. Praise Yahweh for giving us power. As you can see, we living in the final hour. We need soldiers, no cowards. Let's heat it up, the time is ours. We keep it heated, steady on the grind till our mission is completed. MySpace, Facebook, go tweet it. Those who trust Yah will not be defeated. We live this word, we give this word. To turn back is so absurd. Practice what we preach, so please observe. Have folks saying them boys so got nerve.
Gotta stay focused, put the enemy's kingdom on notice. The most high soldiers in the field with a sword and a shield. Ruach and Tanakh, we stand solid as a rock. The set apart flock, pressing for Jerusalem Shabbat. The hereafter in the kingdom amongst the Dakota sheen. Y'all smell the king, separating the clean from the unclean. Keep setting the place, the airways, whatever saying. For that mark we run like we've been doused with gasoline. We on fire.
Without further ado, I would like to bring up the great Kohen Rav here before the people. Can we rise and see? Okay. Kokavod le Yor Kodush Israel, Lebeno, and Amihashia, the Nisikav Saravatara, who the folk Hasidah, Nafu, Yor Yahweh, Shalom, Aleichem. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Without any doubt, I'm very, very thankful. I'm very humbled. I'm very appreciative for this great, blessed opportunity to be here with you all in Houston, in the Houston jurisdiction. I want to extend my gratitude to Tua Benyamin and Akot Yavniela that took the time to come to San Antonio to pick me up.
Hallelujah.
I didn't think I was going to get that type of treatment, but I'm very humbled by it. I'm very thankful for it, and I appreciate the openness of the conversation that we shared in that drive from San Antonio to Houston. It was very enlightening, very inspiring, and it was stimulating, very, very stimulating. And then to Paul Thiel and family that gave me the comfort to stay in their home last night and spend the night. The food was fantastic. I was very well fed. I couldn't get up from the table. And I had the privilege to rest well. And again, I'm thankful to be here and to be in you all's presence. And what I would like to do to begin this morning's presentation and being able to share with you some thoughts and some things that have been revealed through study and through research. Before I do that, I would like to ask each of you to stand. And I would like, as we're standing here, for each of you to feel comfortable in expressing the great love that you have for yourself, the great sense of appreciation that you have for yourself. And I would like for you to take a moment to just hug yourself. Just hug you. You know, a good hug, a good warm hug. You know, the kind of hug that, like, you know, it makes your toes tingle. The kind of hug that makes you feel appreciated. The kind of hug that makes you feel so thankful for being able to have this hug. You know, when somebody embraces you and they want you to really feel you. They want you to really feel them. And so you want to feel you right now. You want to feel the beauty of the presence of life that you are. You want to feel the wonder and the magnificence of the expression of life that you are. You want to feel the beauty of the oneness of life that you are. And the fact that as you're hugging yourself, you're hugging a dynamic, infinite, unbound expression and intelligence of life that you are. So I would like for you to say to yourself, I love me.
I love me.
I love me.
I love me.
I love me some me.
I love me some me.
Appreciate me.
I appreciate me.
I am grateful for me.
I am grateful for me.
I am thankful for me.
I am thankful for me.
I am so thankful.
I am so thankful
for the presence of your in me.
for the presence of your in me.
The power of your in me.
The power of your in me.
The beauty of your in me.
The beauty of your in me.
The essence of your in me.
The essence of your in me.
Hallelujah.
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 Selah. Love me some me. Love me some me. Love me some me. And that's not being self-centered. That's not being extremely egotistical. That's not having appreciation for others. Because when you understand the power of self, in Hebrew, self can be expressed by the term atzmi. Atzmi. Atzmi comes from the word etzem. Etzem. And etzem is a Hebrew term. It's a Hebrew word. It can be translated to bone. It can be translated to source. It can be translated to essence. I know this man won't understand one place. It can be translated to essence. So atzmi is to say that I am the bone of life. I am the core of life. I am the source of life. I am the essence of life. That's what I am. When you say atzmi, ani ohevet atzmi, you know, you're making a strong statement. You're making a powerful statement. You're making a magnificent declaration of your ability to acknowledge the wonder of you, the power and the presence and the beauty of you. And when you really begin to embrace the magnificence of you, the first thing you don't want to do is take you for granted.
Recording in progress.
That's the first thing you don't want to do. You don't want to take you for granted.
Right.
And when you really begin to understand the power and the magnificence of you, then when you treasure, when you have something that you treasure, you want to take it, you want to put it somewhere safe.
Right.
You want to put it and you want to have it somewhere where, you know, no damage could come to it. No harm can come to it. No one can abuse it. No one can take advantage of it. You understand that this is your treasure. And you want to assure that it will be protected and watched over at all costs because this is something that you value. So how much more should we value ourselves? To really value the beauty of being, to really value the privilege of being alive, to really value the ability of knowing that you, being you, are able to display and to express the power and the presence of the intelligence of life that breathes the breath of life into your soul. That's a powerful thing to understand. That's man, I mean, when you begin to allow yourself to think about yourself on that level, you become like, how can I do better about me?
Right.
How can I express myself in more of a majestic, royal, divine, holy, beautiful, loving way? How is it that I can walk now? You know, okay, I'm walking, I got my head up, I got my chest out, but yet as I do this, I'm not having my nose snubbed at anybody else.
Right.
I don't look down on nobody.
Right. Yeah.
Why? Because I see everybody else as being a reflection of me. They're a reflection of me. They are an extension of me. They are an expression of me. And I realize that they too come from the same source of intelligence that I come from. So self-love, self-appreciation is universal.
Right.
It extends out. It grows, it blossoms from within, and it extends out. And that's why I wanted you to just embrace that. To embrace that. To really feel the presence of that, and to know when you are expressing yourself through your behavior, through your expressions in word and the things that you say, you are bringing something from the internal that is eternal. I hope y'all get it. You're bringing something from the inner being that is eternal, that is immortal, that is unbound, that is unlimited, that cannot be constricted or inhibited in any way. So I wanted to say that to you as we start off, because my goal today in the course of this presentation is to pursue to pick up from where we left off last week. And last week, when we went into revival of the Holy Spirit, we went into page 25. And we started off reading that where the Holy Father had written in Revival of the Holy Spirit on page 25. He said, if Yah is spirit, then those that he created, in his image and likeness are spirit, right? That's the way it's written, that you are the very image and likeness of the intelligence that has created you. Now, if you are the very image and likeness of the intelligence that has created you, and we give y'all all these wonderful accolades, all these wonderful titles, you know, because y'all is all powerful. So there's a term, you know, y'all is omnipotent. Y'all is omnipresent. Y'all is omniscient. Well, then so are you. So are you. If yours is omnipotent and you are the living image and likeness of yours, then aren't you omnipotent? If you're omnipresent and you are the living image and likeness of yours, if yours is omniscient, all-knowing, and you're the living image and likeness of yours, aren't you omniscient? Do you think these people that created this are
Absolutely.
they're intelligent?
Absolutely.
They're intelligent. Do you know they took the idea of omnipresent and omniscient and they put it in a box? They put it in a box so that now we can communicate with anybody, anywhere on the face of this planet in real time. We now can Google any information. You remember you used to run to the library to have access to Encyclopedia Britannica and all of that? And now all you do is punch a button. Allow you to be anywhere on the planet at any time, at any moment. Allow you to have endless access to unbound intelligence at any moment. And yet they created this automation, artificial intelligence, in a quest to seek to replicate you. To replicate you. To replicate the fact that within your being, in your presence right now, inside of you is an intelligence that is all powerful, that is all knowing, that is all present. It's you. It's you. And when you begin to train yourself, when you begin to look at yourself differently, it's like, okay, we'll sit up and we'll talk about the Wright brothers and we'll say, man, them brothers, they were geniuses. They were geniuses in their ability to have the nerve, to have the audacity to come up with the idea we can fly.
Right.
Now, you already know they went through a lot of opposition because when they said we want to fly, there were those that said if man was meant to fly, God would have given man wings. So you had all of those that came with arguments that were like convincing. It's impossible. It'll never happen. You can't do that. You're going against the laws of God. You now being you're a blasphemer, you're a heretic, you're all these things in your quest to fly. And lo and behold, now we can get on a jet and we can fly from one place all the way around the world in a matter of hours. And all they did was fly for 100 feet. And now we fly everywhere. Flying is about as common as driving a car. Amazing, amazing. But yet, flying in an instrument that can have a, activates aerodynamics with energy that can propel it to fly into the air is not as dynamic as you are. It's not as dynamic as you are. It is not as capable as you are. We have you ever had the experience of being in a state-of-the-art vehicle and didn't know how to drive it?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. State-of-the-art vehicle that has performance capacity, man, just beyond. And you didn't know how to drive. You didn't know how to operate all of its technology and all of its capability. You didn't know how to give it its maximum performance. Right. And we're sitting here today and we're only utilizing maybe 10% of our brain. State of the art. State of the art. Each of us are state of the art instruments. And we've yet to utilize our full capacity. Why? Because we're so physically oriented. Many of us have yet to really get into the dynamics of our spirituality. Many of us have yet to get into the dynamics of our energetic capabilities. Many of us have yet to really study ourselves. We're so oriented to keep looking out and keep trying to identify and compare ourselves with things that are outside of us instead of really embracing what is inside. Really recognize, really understanding how to implement it, how to activate it, how to set it into motion. I mean, if we're not using 100% of our brain, can we be using 100% of our heart? If we're not using 100% of our brain and our hearts, are we using 100% of our kidneys and our livers? No. We've yet to fully activate a system that is unbound. Why? Because we're so physically oriented. We're just looking at things. We're looking at a narrow view of a magnificent presence that is unbound. Unbound. Are you really ready to take to heart that you are the living image and likeness of the intelligence that is breathing the breath of life in your soul? Are you willing to let me just entertain the idea? Let me just play with it. Man, I can do anything. I can be anything. We want to get to a point where you got to get to a point of recognizing that you're beyond human, to be a human being. Because if you look at the definition of human, it says that which is beyond or above an animal. To be above an animal, I mean, what is that? To be above, you different from an animal. Now, animals are instinctive. They have an instinctive nature. That's how animals operate. They're born in a particular environment. They're born in a particular region, and Yah has empowered them with instinctive nature of how to govern themselves in that environment, in that region. But you have an unlimited capacity of intuition. Intuition, where you can perceive something before it occurs. You're omniscient. Mother wit, common sense, is omniscient. It's an ability to have an intuitive capability to allow you to say to somebody, I can read you like a book. You ain't never said nothing to me. You ain't never did nothing to me, but I know you. Mm-hmm. I see you. I see you. Not only do I see, but I feel your energy. I feel your intent in my presence. I know what you are thinking about. Why? Because we're connected. We're all connected. So when we break out of these boundaries of just thinking on a physical level, when we break out of these boundaries of separation, I'm different from you, you know, you over there, I'm over here, whatever happens to you doesn't matter as long as it don't happen to me. You know, all these walls of separation we create. I'm different, I'm black, you white, I'm tall, you short. I mean, we create walls. But when we begin to break down these walls and begin to realize our intimate connectivity with each other, we'll begin to see things different. Does that make any sense?
Amen.
Does that sound impossible?
No.
Does that sound like, man, Cohen up there just running his mouth and trying to get us to, you know, think that we're more than what we really are? And I can't give it.
Not at all.
Why would York bring you on this planet to only allow you to be some feeble, incapable, weak element of him?
5%.
Do you know what you went through to get here? Have you ever really thought about the process that was activated to begin the experience of bringing into creation the presence called you? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever just allowed your mind to imagine all of the intricacies, all of the details, all of the graphic processes of the formulation of the presence called you? If you ever have time to just think about it from, man, what inclined my mother and father to come together? It had been that day, I don't know. What inclined them? What was the energy that drew them together in that moment to allow for that experience to take place, for the transmission of intelligence, the transmission of energy from one to the other? Where in that transmission, there was this magnificent explosion of life that set into motion the process that has brought me into being. Then, if you stop and you think about that for a minute, and then you really allow your mind to go out there and you begin to say, at that particular moment, the heavens were in a particular posture. Stars were here, the moon was there, the sun was here, all these things, all this motion. And it was a unique alignment. The earth was in a particular alignment. It was in a particular state of, I don't know, morning, noon, night, I don't know. You have to figure out you. You have to figure out you. You know how sometimes astrologists will tell you, what day were you born on? You say, well, I was born on this day. And they say, okay, well, that's within this particular sign. But then they'll get even more particular. What time were you born? What was your actual time of birth? Because at that actual hour, there was a particular celestial alignment. And that even gives them more detail in being able to give you a horoscopic reading. Can you understand that? Can you really feel the dynamics of that? And so can that assist you in being able to realize and recognize how wonderful you are? How unique you are, how distinct you are, how special you are, and how that you have been specifically created to display a level of living and expression in this life that is channeled distinctly for you. Nobody else can express life like you. Nobody. Okay, well, look at these people, they doing this and they don't have what you have. They're not going to do it like you do it. They're not going to express it like you express it. Are you willing to take the time to really study you, to identify what is your gift? What is your gift? What is it about you that this intelligence would take the time to create you to represent and express it at this point in time on this planet? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to see yourself beyond the confines of how you've been defined up to this point. That's what I'm pursuing to share. The idea and the intent and the motive of everything that will be said to you in the course of this presentation is to empower you. And we're thankful. We're thankful for your Yahweh. We're thankful for Abba Ben Ami. We're thankful for all of those, the elders and all of those who have come before us, who have taught us. We're thankful for all the men that were bodacious and courageous and audacious to dare to say we're leaving the United States of America and we're going to go to Israel. And all, excuse me, all of the challenges that they incurred and that they overcame to allow us to be here today. We're thankful for Minister Malak and I mean, what he endured and persevered and overcame to assure that we would have this facility. It's a lot to be thankful for.
Absolutely.
It's a lot to be thankful for. There are a lot of souls to acknowledge and give credit to. And now, can we look at ourselves? Can we really look at ourselves and see who we are and what we are and what our portion is? That's important. All right? Everybody okay? Okay. Pursue to be concise and to the point. Now, in the book of Exodus, the 20th chapter, the book of Exodus, the 20th chapter, I think it's around about the second or the third verse, where Moses, when he came down and he was giving the house of Israel the commandment. And the first commandment said, I am the Lord thy God, excuse me, your Yahweh, that has brought you out of the lands of Egypt. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Right? We're all kind of familiar with that commandment. You know? And then it says, and thou shalt make no graven image of the likeness of anything. No graven image of the likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, the earth beneath, and even real deep, are the waters beneath the earth. I'm like, dang.
Right.
I'm like, dang, I mean, what's under there?
Right.
Don't make nothing that look like anything. And this was a direct command. What I want you to focus on is the word graven. Graven. You know, it's one thing to have a image and you build a statue, you build a totem pole, you say this is an image. This, don't worship this. This is an image, you know, an external image that you look at. Some people say they worship their cars, some people worship their houses, some people worship their houses, but a graven image is a little deep. A graven image is more personal. It's more personal because you can have something engraved in your psyche. You can have something engraved in your mind. You can have something engraved that is what we might call an indelible experience. And I want to look at it from the aspect of saying that somebody offended you. Somebody did something to you. And you allow that experience of what was done or that experience of what was said to be engraved in your heart to the point where you hold on to it. You hold on to it. That can become an engraved image that is indelibly emblazed in your heart that will cause you not to no longer see yourself. Can y'all get with it? To have an engraved image, to give somebody the authority to offend you, to give somebody the authority to hurt you, to give somebody the authority to disappoint you, to the point where that experience, you don't know how to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every time you see that person, it sparks up all over again.
Right.
I don't care. They could be right in the room or they can be down the street. Every time you think about it, sparks up again. Memory, graphic detail memory. Yeah, he said it just like this. And it was at this day on this time, and this is what he was wearing, and this is how he was talking. I mean, graphic detail, total recall. It's just locked in. It's an engraved image, an engraved experience that is locked and is indelibly placed in the heart. And if you don't take the time to engage the process to remove it, it will stifle your ability to be able to express and display the presence of your that you are. That's why it was, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not create any image of anything that is in the heavens above, earth beneath, or waters beneath the earth. You don't want nothing to stand between you and the intelligence of life that substantiates you. Nothing, no one. So you can't let anybody come in and all of a sudden they're taking up space between you and y'all. You can't let that happen. And one of the beautiful things about where we are at this time in the kingdom, in the season of the whole. Now, back in 2012, we had a national meeting. Father called the saints together. He asked the saints, he said, okay, what is the whole? What is the whole? And all these questions were asked and the saints gave different responses, and they created a document called the Whole Day by the Ministry of Information. Now, on the back of that document called the Whole Day, there's a definition by the Ministry of Information entitled the whole. The whole. Now, in our quest to magnify and to manifest on a continuum the presence of Yahweh, we want to express the whole. The whole. The whole can only be displayed when you no longer allow anything to impede, to blind, to stagnate you from seeing yourself. So as that definition goes, it's written, it says, free of all wound or injury. That's the way it starts off. Free of wound or injury. Free of damage or defect. Free of wound or injury. Free of damage or defect. So if you allow someone to wound you, if you allow somebody to injure you mentally, spiritually, you're not whole. You're not whole. You're allowing someone to, how did you say, they are now undermining your ability to be able to display the wholeness of life that you're to be. If you give someone the authority to offend you that deep, where every time you think about them, you become aroused with anger, with, you want to do something to them. It creates that same old feeling all over again. It's like playing basketball. They're intimidating you. They're subjecting you. They're not letting you get to your spot. They're blocking you off. If you allow that graven image of that experience to become so indelibly emplaced in your mind and your heart, you are not able to display the whole. And when that happens, when you allow that level of spiritual mental damage to take place, then you cannot be physically, spiritually sound and healthy. Why? Because continual stress is debilitating. It's debilitating. It drains your vibrant, life-giving energy. If you don't reconcile yourself with that to the point of getting to a state where you can let that go, to free yourself of that toxicity that is poisoning your system, it will kill you. It will kill you. So the first definition, or the first stage of the definition in the word, the whole, that was defined by the Ministry of Information, said free of pain or injury, free of damage or defect, completely sound and whole. The second stage of that definition says, having all of one's vital parts or possession. Now, I may not be verbatim with the definition, but having all of one's vital parts or components, vital parts or possession, lacking nothing that belongs to it. Thank you. Hey, I'm on point. Damn, I'm on point with this. I'm looking at us, okay. But lacking nothing that belongs to you. Spiritually, mentally, physically. You're sound, you're healthy, you're one, you're whole, you're complete, and you're able to express yourself in the fullness of the beauty that you are. And it is in that state, your capability is unlimited. It's unbound. And what you set forth to manifest, you will manifest. What you set forth to create, you will create. You then, being as Yah, likened unto Yah, in the image of Yah, you then say, let there be, and so it is. So it is. Why? Because the intent and the motive of the things that you are declaring, that you are praying for, that you are seeking, that you are desiring, are wholesome. They're holistic. They're for the good and the welfare of all. You're not doing this with the intention of doing harm to someone else. You're not doing this with the intention of exploiting or taking advantage of someone else. You're doing this with the intent to magnify your ability to serve and to share and to cooperate and to give for the will of all. That's on a whole nother level. That's on a whole nother level. That's a whole nother element of intention and motive that is very creative and causative, that is empowered by the very energy that breathes the breath of life into your being. That's on another level. Then the third part of the definition says, constituting an undivided unit. Hear, O Israel, Yah is one. Hear, O Israel, Yah is one. Constituting an undivided unit, directed toward one end. Completely channeled and focused. Not divided or dispersed. So now, if we employ this definition, then the tree of the knowledge of good and evil ain't got nothing to do with us. We're channeled toward life. We only eat the fruit of the tree of life. We're not going to eat the fruit that would divide us. We're not going to subject ourselves to the elements that would cause us to become dispersed and to get out of alignment with life and living. We're not going to do that. Why? Because we want to be whole. And it is within the realm of the whole that we can experience and express and live the fullness of life. Anything less than that is not going to work. You have been born to display and to express an infinite, unbound intelligence. That's what you are. You are vibrant, unbound, living intelligence. And we have got to liberate ourselves. We've got to free ourselves from these conditioned mindsets that have been taught to us from the day we were born. Right. It's time for us to get an alignment with the intelligence that literally empowers us. Not to be empowered to go and fight and destroy and take out and we're gonna wipe out. No. No. We're not here to fight. Not on that level. The war that we will engage is within. It's within. What good does it do me? Think about it. Think. Just let your mind think. Think. With all of the thousands of years of death, war, and destruction, what has it changed? What has it changed? With all of, okay, we're going to destroy the people of here. We're going to destroy this civilization. And we're going to wipe out this people. And we're going to wipe out those people. What has it changed? What has it changed? All of that physical pain, death and suffering and destruction hasn't changed nothing. Days of Noah, whole planet gets inundated with water, just annihilated. Here we are again, like it never happened. If you don't go inside, if you don't change the very core of your being, if you don't gain a greater sense of personal value, value of self, value of being whole, then you cannot affect a change outside of you. It won't work. It just won't work. Pushing and pulling, cussing and fussing, all this. I mean, what? At the end of the day, we just find ourselves just being stressed out. Talking about they ain't right, he ain't right, she ain't right, the world ain't right.
Right.
And I'm the only one that got some sense. Really? Just think about it. Think about it. If I want to affect change, I got to start with me. I got to start with me. I got to go inside. I got to be truthful with myself. The work that must be done, the cleansing that must take place, the detoxification that must occur, it's in here. It's in here. Not me sitting up talking about you. Not me sitting up looking at you and what you wearing and what you got and what you ain't got and how you are. Man, we love getting into those kind of conversations. We love it. We look forward to it. I'm getting with my boys so we can talk about some other boys. I'm getting with my girls so we can talk about these women over here. You know, we waste time.
Right.
Literally, you waste time and energy talking about other people that ain't like you. And it's insane. It's insane. Man, just think about how much time we spend talking about all of the stuff that's going on this planet that we don't like. Just think about it. We spend so much time talking about what we don't like. We spend so much time talking about what makes us uncomfortable. We sensationalize. Oh man, let a negative situation occur. Man, we lock in, we hone in on it. And we'll blow it up, we'll magnify it, we'll sensationalize it, we'll make it look like it's no tomorrow. It's amazing. It's amazing. Do you know where your attention goes, energy flows?
Right. Exactly.
Do you know what you recognize, you energize? So if all you are doing is talking about the stuff you don't like, that you can't stand, that you hate, you're actually giving life to it. You're giving it life. You're giving it power. You're giving it presence. You are assuring that it will be here to face you tomorrow. You're doing that. You're doing that. Instead of being constituted to one direction instead of having and moving toward one end, you all over the place. You're just all over. Your energy is scattered. Your energy is dispersed. You're all over. There's an issue over here. Let me talk about this. Oh, it's an issue over there. Let me talk about that. There's something going on over here. Let me talk about that. You just dispersing the most precious capacity and gift that you possess, which is your life, all over the place. And at the end of the day, you don't have nothing. You don't have nothing. Except maybe what you might call hey, I mean, I talked about it. You know, I said what I had to say. I got it off my chest. Did you? Man, come on. How much more could we gain with our ability to be an undivided unit channeled toward one end that is only life? And we only talk about those things. We only engage and entertain those things that allow us to feel the goodness of being alive. Those things that will give more substance to our dreams, our aspirations, our goals, because physical immortality is real. It's a real experience. It's real just as sure as we're sitting here, if we give the proper energy to it, if we pay it the proper attention, if we become undivided in our pursuit of it. Well, I heard this person die. Well, I know this person is sick. Well, I heard, yeah, that's real. Well, how they gonna tell us about physical immortality and so around? How they gonna teach us about physical immortality and they going through what they're going through? Do you know how many times the Wright brothers and all the other men that sought to try to fly failed, crashed, died? Paul Thiel can fly from DC to Houston once a week because the idea of air transportation has improved its ability to fly because they learned from mistakes. They learned, they kept studying. It was a crash, 100 people died, 200 people died, 300 people died. Why did it happen? They went in a room and they began to ask the question, why? The plane crashed, why? There was a faulty system, why? There was a screw that fell apart, why? They went through these whys until they were able to fine tune what the real issue was. And then they started to build from there to improve the whole element of flying. We don't do that.
First thing go wrong.
We ready to throw our hands up. We ready to talk, man, that ain't gonna work. That ain't happening. But if we stop and we study and we ask the question, why? So-and-so died, why? He didn't eat right, why? Well, he was eating so-and-so, why? Well, if he would have, why? I'm not feeling good today, why? My energy is low, why? You know, I did so-and-so last night, why? Why? What is it about me that I need to change so that I can be the soul in the presence of life that I want to be? If I'm not willing to do the personal homework on myself, how can I then share anything with you that would be beneficial to you? It ain't gonna work. We got to become more critical, constructively critical in our thinking. Okay, I'm up here, I'm running my mouth, I'm talking this. If they ain't hitting home, okay. Why? Why? It ain't making no sense. Coin all, why? And I can't really connect with that. He's not talking like I'm used to hearing other people talk. Why? What is it that we need to know? What is it that I need to know? What is it that I need to understand that would improve my ability to share something with you that'll be personal? That'll be personal. That'll make you feel like I'm talking to you personally. Ain't nobody else in the room but me and you. And the things that are being said possibly might have some relevance to your life and welfare and well-being. Or am I just running my mouth? What is it I need to tell Cohen about his presentation so that next time he speaks, he can be able to talk in a more concise, direct way that might touch some people? Instead of just, hey man, good presentation, bro. Really appreciate it. Man, I'm going home. Man, I'll be glad when he be through. You know, y'all know the thoughts.
Yes.
Right.
Y'all, I mean, we real people.
Yes.
You know how we feel. Constructive, critical. So that each and every day, when we make an assessment and evaluation of ourselves and our lives and the things we did in the course of a day, we can identify what we need to change.
Right.
So that we can improve our capability of living. So again, don't let nothing be engraved in your mind, in your heart, that would create a divide or blockage between you and the source of intelligence that is breathing the breath of life in your soul in this very moment. Don't allow anything to become such an indelible distraction that would stagnate your ability to display the wholeness of life. Nothing. You can't give nobody that authority. Nothing is more valuable than you. And again, I'm not saying that in no egotistical, self-centered, I'm not saying it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it when you really understand the beauty of who and what you are and your ability to express life, you are priceless. You are priceless. How could the kingdom of Yah be the kingdom of Yah if it doesn't have you? Just think about that. Just think about that. How could the kingdom of Yah be this awe-inspiring communal body of men and women and children if everybody in the kingdom of Yah is just falling apart? It don't make sense. Who would want to turn their eye and look at someone like that? Or look at a body of people like that and say, I want to run over there and be with them? No. There's something dynamic that each of us are obligated and responsible to express. You want to be a part of the kingdom of Yah? Then express the kingdom of Yah in you. In you. Display it, express it, convey it in you. Not talking about what somebody else is doing. Nasik's doing so-and-so, Sar doing so-and-so, Atul doing. No, what is it that I'm doing? What is it that I'm doing? This is something that I am doing that I am so divinely proud of, that I bring to the experience of the kingdom that makes it a whole element for everybody around. That's on another level.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of sitting back talking about I'm waiting on somebody else to do something for me, I'm doing. I'm bringing my brick to the building. I'm putting it on. Okay, this is what I got, y'all. This is my gift. This is what I want to contribute. This is what I want to share. Here it is. That's on another level. That's another mind. And that's why you are here. That's why you've been brought into this experience, so that you will go through the process of the awakening of self-realization. Self-realization. So that you will take on the responsibility. You will take on the obligation. You will take on the initiative to step up and to do what is needed for us all. That's what time it is. That's what time it is. That's what it all, you remove all of the other fluff and whatever. At the end of the day, each of us who are part of this experience that have said in our hearts, we want this to be real in our lives today. Not seeking to build something that we're going to say, well, the benefit will be 20 years, 30 years, 40 years from now. No, why can't it be today? Why can't it be today? Why can't it be right in this moment? We become of such an awakening, such a level of enlightenment, such a level of passion, such a sense of determination and conviction that we determine that from this point on, this is how it shall be. Because I'm committed to this idea. Again, the whole. Free of all damage and defect, free of all wound and injury, completely sound and healthy, possessing all of your vital parts and components, not dispersed or diminished in any way. In any way, you're whole, you're complete, and you cherish that state of being. You constitute an undivided unit that is directed to one end, to bring life in within your own being and within the being of others. Yeah. That's why you're here. That's why you're not divided, you're not scattered. You have liberated yourself. You have become untethered. You become unshackled to the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Your mind is no longer divided. You are channeled only toward life, living, loving, sharing, giving, cooperating, contributing, collaborating, doing all of those things that add to the wonderful feeling of being in the presence of others. And do you know something? When you allow yourself to get into that particular state of mind, I don't care, you can walk into an environment that might be filled with darkness. It might be filled with other people with another intention. Right. But when you walk in, you alter the whole state. That's why, I'm going to say this and I'm going to close. Listen, Leviticus, the 26th chapter, verses 6, 7, 8, and 9. Leviticus, the 26th chapter, verses 6, 7, 8, and 9. Oh, man. Oh, man. It's like the way it's written, and I'm kind of adding. Yah says that I will bring peace into the land, and I will rid the land of all of its wild beasts. Again, that's a metaphor in the sense where the peace will be in your mind. The peace will be in your mind, and you will rip. Hey, you got it? You got the scripture? My brother, can you go to Leviticus, the 26th chapter, verses 6, 7, 8, 9, right quick? You don't mind if you could just read it out for us, Leviticus 26, 6, 7, 8, 9, because remember when we would talk about the remnant? And sometimes the idea of the remnant was this body of people that survived. With all of the hell and the high water, when the smoke and the dust cleared, there would be a small remnant. There were those that would even use the term feeble remnant. Because after everything went down, it was like, man, I'm trying to get my head back together. After all I've witnessed, go ahead, brother.
Reading from Leviticus, 6th chapter, starting at verse 6 through 9.
Yes, speak up.
Starting at verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I will give peace in the land.
I will give peace in your mind. I will give peace in your heart. I will give peace in your soul.
And ye shall lie down.
And you will lie down.
And none shall make you afraid.
And to be without fear. To get to a state of mind, a state of presence where you are no longer fearful of anyone, of anything, of any situation. You are so in harmony with this intelligence. Yea, though I guide you, or yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow, whatever this stuff is going on around me, I'm not afraid. I trust thy rod and thy staff, this intelligence, this consciousness, it guides me. It directs me. It puts me in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing in my right state of mind. No longer afraid, no longer doubtful, no longer insecure, no longer uncertain. I am certain of what I do because I'm thinking about what I'm thinking about before I say a word and before I do anything. I'm considering the impact of what I'm saying. I'm considering the impact of what I'm doing because I realize that there is an immutable law that is absolute, that I will reap what I sow. I will reap what I sow. So I'm thinking about the seeds I'm planting. I'm thinking about the things I'm putting. I just don't let I'm not a fly mouth. I don't fly off at the mouth. I don't do that. I don't just say things. Why? Because words are energy. Words are energy. Words are powerful. Words have impact.
Wow.
You know, sticks and stones may break my bones. Really? Really? That little fable was such a lie. Big lie. So you will not be afraid as you rise in this consciousness, as you apply these principles. They liberate you from fear. They liberate you from insecurity. They liberate you from doubt. Therefore, when you lay your head down at night, you can lie down. He leadeth me by the still water. He restoreth my soul. Y'all know the words. Y'all know what I'm saying. It's a state of mind. It's a state of presence. It's a state of realization that when you apply it, you feel the beauty of the benefits of this consciousness. Go ahead, man.
And I will rid evil beasts out of the land.
No longer having the presence of anything that is contrary to your true nature to dwell within your being. Because you're going to find, you're going to realize that the world is a reflection of you. It's a reflection of you. Your experiences, your relationships are a reflection of your state of mind. Now, when you get your alignment together, when you get your mind together, when you get your heart together, when you become conscious of what I'm thinking, I'm conscious of what I'm feeling, I'm conscious of what I'm saying, I'm conscious of what I'm doing, I'm having an effect on my environment. And now my environment, more and more in incremental stages, step-by-step process, my environment begins to reflect more of the holistic state of mind that I am. All of the evil beasts are being cast out. They're being cast out now. Now I'm getting a whole nother energy factor. Go ahead.
Neither shall the sword go through your land.
Neither shall the sword go through your land. Sword, you know, we're not talking about a weapon. We're talking about, you know, again, neither shall the sword go through your land. So there are things that you become immune. You want to be inoculated with truth? You want to get the truth serum and have it put and inject it into your heart? When you do that, it builds up an immunity within your being. What happens is this. Your thought patterns, your thoughts, your thinking, as you're thinking things and you're imagining and you're envisioning, it creates the electrical circuitry in your brain and your synaptic setup with your neurology and all of that. It creates a energy movement, an electrical movement of energy within you. Now that energy is moving, and then you got the feelings that you have based on that vision of thought and that vision of the things you are imagining, it's creating feelings in your heart. That means that your heart is pulsating with a certain rhythm. The electrical energy, the pulsation of the rhythm of your heart creates an electrical magnetic field. Y'all heard of those things, right? An electrical magnetic field. There are those that call it, it's like a torus. They call it one. But anyway, the field extends out. It extends out and it becomes a shield. It becomes a force field that certain things cannot come in your environment. Certain things cannot occur to your private person, to you personally. You then repel all that which is contrary to your true nature. You repel it. You no longer are susceptible to violence. You no longer are susceptible to those things that people unfortunately go through when you're in your right state of mind. That sword is now being cast out. It's not to be a part of your life experience. It's certain things you no longer even have to worry about. No one's going to walk up and threaten you. They can't. They can't unless you give them energy. Unless you give them energy and you bring that into your experience. Other than it can't happen. It can't. This is absolute. This ain't like throwing the dice. This is absolute. When you properly apply these principles, it becomes absolute. So just what he read, the sword is now cast out of your journey of life experience. It's no longer to be a part of your life presence. You're in another state of mind. You're activating another energy. You're living and displaying life on another level. Go ahead.
And ye shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword.
You shall chase your enemies, and they shall flee before you because of truth. Because of truth. Because of oneness. Because of harmony. Because of love. Because of joy. Because of peace. They can't infiltrate. They can't invade. They can't get in there. Your heart is so strong with love and joy and peace and harmony. They can't get in there. They're trying. They'd love to, but they can't. They cannot penetrate that shield that has been created by you, that has been created by it's your inheritance to live a life of joy. It's your inheritance to enjoy the presence of your children. It's your inheritance to live in a home that is wholesome. It is your inheritance to feel good about being alive. That's why you were born. That's why you are here. And when you wake up to that, you begin to embrace that and you begin to ponder that. Ponder that. Contemplate that instead of allowing your mind to dwell on some stupidity that isn't doing anything for you. Talking about some issue, some incident, some event, some circumstance that took away. For what? What does that do for your soul? Contemplate those things that give you life. Those things that inspire and motivate and create enthusiasm. Go over that again and again and again and again and again. Reinforce it. Go ahead.
And 5 of you shall chase 100.
Okay.
And 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight.
You see the exponential power of your being? The remnant. The remnant. The remnant that are in alignment. The remnant that constitute an undivided unit. The remnant that is committed to an idea. The remnant that is devoted to a process for life-giving change. The remnant is not feeble. The remnant is powerful. The remnant is powerful. The remnant possesses exponential power. And every time this remnant here comes together, like you all did last week when you had your fun and games, you cannot measure the energy that you generate in sharing those moments together and laughing together and just enjoying one another's presence. How do you measure that? You can't put it in a capsule. You have got to understand what you did for one another's souls in that moment, what you gave to each other, seeing one another's smiles, embracing one another, talking with one another. I mean, golly, Ezria and Atara just like intimidating everybody. I'm just saying, man, I mean, that's like, oh man, you know, it just made us feel good. And then you walked out of there and that energy and the reflection on those moments and the reflection on that experience, what it just did for you. This remnant is exponentially empowered. You got to really see yourself. And like our brother keeps saying, I need to be in your presence. I need to be around you. I need to converse with you and talk with you and embrace you more and more and more. Why? Because it gives me energy. It gives me inspiration and motivation to continue to do what I gotta do. Just knowing that you are there, it makes a difference in me. Thank you. These are the things that we need to ponder, we need to contemplate, we need to dwell on, we need to talk about, we need to share with each other, we need to reinforce, we need to help each other out. If we see somebody going through something, hey sis, I'm with you. Okay, what's happening? Why? Why is that happening? Why are you feeling that? And let's pinpoint. Let's really put our hand on the spot that needs to be addressed. Because we cherish our lives. We cherish one another. We realize our value to each other. And whatever it is that we can do to assure one another's continued presence and evolution and ascension in this experience, let's do it. 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 And let's live. So I want to thank all of you for sharing your attention, for allowing me a privilege to share some of these things that have been revealed to me through my studies and research of the writings of Baba Kanami and biblical scripture and meditation and reflection and just really considering where we are at this day and time, because we're in a beautiful place. We really, really are. When you really stop and you consider the magnificence of where we are, you will be at awe, because there are those that were saying we weren't supposed to be. We're not supposed to be here according to the odds. According to the odds, this was supposed to fade out. This was supposed to, be like chaff driven by the wind. This isn't supposed to be happening, that the jurisdiction of Houston is still standing. We're not supposed to be here. You are defying the odds. That's what you're doing. You're defying the odds. And it's important for you to continue to encourage, inspire, and motivate one another to have that strength to continue to defy the odds. There are those that are saying it can't be done. It takes courage. It takes audacity. It takes being bold to say, yes, it can. And then it even takes more courage. And it takes more audacity. And it takes more boldness to say, I'm doing it. It can be done because I'm doing it. Well, how do you know you're doing it? I'm breathing. I'm here. I'm here. And with each day, I get stronger. With each day, I become more aligned. I become more certain. I become more secure. I become more capable of doing what is required to assure our success. So know of a certainty, you are stronger today than you were yesterday. That ain't just somebody trying to pat you on the back and make you feel good. It's the truth. You are stronger today than you were yesterday. Why? Well, I was not here no more. Minister Malak isn't here no more. And we've taken on the responsibility to keep this ship floating and to keep this jurisdiction moving, to keep engaging some of the events that are going on with some of the other institutions, churches, and activities that are going on, and we're constantly showing our presence. We have a sense of divine pride in who we are. So live your life, enjoy your life, and express your life in such a way that in so doing, you all give us all. So thank you, I appreciate you, and see you.
Hallelujah.